Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2021 Kia Stinger GT2. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Jerry Steiner Kia here in South Salt Lake for giving me some time with this Stinger. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the Stinger GT2, we have a twin-turbo 3.3-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 17 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 365 horsepower and then 376 pound-feet of torque. Now let's actually go over the front end of the Stinger GT2. So first off, we have this really cool accenting here on the hood. Absolutely love the look of that. And then you can see we've got the Kia logo just down below. And then we've got full LED projector bulbs with the little LED accent lights. Just looks really premium in general. And then we've got the really nice venting just down in that little area. And then you can see the front grille. Now notice they've got the sensor integrated into the rest of the grille, which is really nice. And then you can see just coming down here below what they've done with the bodywork to make it look really aggressive. But yeah, overall, definitely just a really good looking car from the front end perspective. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front, and over in the rear we actually have two 55mm tires, again 19-inch wheels. And I love the design on the wheels. These actually remind me of the wheels that are on a Lamborghini Huracan. Like, they have a super similar design, which, I mean, that's not a bad place to be. And then you can see you've got the red brake calipers, which kind of makes it look a little bit sportier. It goes really nice with this blue paint. And then you got little venting there on the side. And then notice how they did the darker coloration on the mirrors to kind of accent it and break things up a little bit for the side of the car. Now let's pop into the back, or rather the hatch of the GT2 Stinger. So you can see storage space back here is absolutely insane. There's just so much space in the back of the Stinger, and that's because, well, again, it's a hatchback. You actually get a cargo cover already built in with the car, so a nice little touch. But yeah, from a storage space perspective, this car is extremely practical. Let's actually go over the rest of the rear of the GT2 Stinger. So first off, I absolutely love the look of the taillights on the Stinger, and I love the little turn signal indicator. That's another nice little touch. You got your regular badge, and you've got the Stinger badge, the GT all-wheel drive badge. No GT2 badge though. And then you can see the exhaust tips here at the bottom. I think they've been integrated beautifully. I love the rear diffuser as well. Just overall, the design on this car is fantastic. Let's actually go over the door panel here in the GT2 Stinger. So first off, you've got this really nice stitching that goes all over the door panel itself, and then soft touch just down below. And then you got a couple speakers for the Harman Kardon sound system. And then notice you got little seat control right there for the heated seats in the rear. And then here are the seats in the back of the GT2 Stinger. So really nice leather perforations all over the seats themselves. And then you can look down here, got some vents there with little climate control. And then just down below, you've got a couple little areas where you can charge some devices in the back. But let's actually pop in. So stepping in, well, stepping height's really good. If I sit all the way up, I touch 5'11", and then you guys can see my legroom just down below. And then finally, got some cup holders on an armrest. That's back at the GT2. Going over the front door panel here in the GT2, again, you've got the really nice stitching with the soft touch all along the door panel itself. And then we've got a couple window controls right there with our mirror adjustments. And then just up above, we've got our controls for the memory seats, a couple more speakers for the Harman Kardon sound system. And then again, here are the seats in the front, well, also with my shadow. You can see you've got GT there on the seat, and then going down, really nice perforations all throughout the seat, all the way down the center, really nice bolsters. These seats are just really soft, like the leather on them. And then we've got a couple adjustments there for the seat itself. Pedal layout just down below, and then you get your little control here for the lane departure assistance, your blind spot monitoring. That is for the rear hatch, and then your gas. And then the steering wheel is automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we actually pop in. Let's go over the steering wheel in the GT2. So first off, here at the top, you got really nice soft touch leather there, and then you've got the perforated leather here on the side. We're actually going to grab it. And then just down below, we can see our controls here for the cruise control. It is adaptive, which is another nice little function. And then controls for the center screen. And then we've got our voice command controls right here, your phone controls as well. And then here at the very bottom, it actually says GT with that piano black trim. And then you do get these really cool little paddle shifters here on the back of the steering wheel, which is another nice little touch. You've got little stock there for the windshield wipers, and then you do have a stock for the lights and the turn signals just behind that. Now here's the center stack. I feel like it's a perfect mix between analog and then, you know, kind of higher tech stuff. So you've got the RPMs and the speed in analog format, but you do have that screen there in the center that gives you different bits of information on the Stinger. I think the coolest thing that we just passed up was the little G-force meter. Yes, I know this is a luxury sedan, but you still get to see your G-forces that you're pulling, and that's all for that little center screen. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, you've got the backup camera that has their trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel, but you will notice there's a ton of different viewpoints. So this is just a touchscreen, and basically you can just press that and you can go through the, oops, wrong button. Anyways, you can go through the different viewpoints, which is pretty cool. You got a little camera out the side as well. Just a really good backup camera system. This isn't a very large car, but it's cool that you can still see a ton of stuff. Now, if we pop it back into park, you can see that we have the rest of the infotainment system. So it just functions like any other touchscreen. Response time on it's really solid. And you have a bunch of little shortcut buttons that'll take you to everything. Notice that you do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with the Stinger. I love the sounds of nature, and I don't think I'm gonna get copyright infringement for this because, well, it's a car thing. But look at that. That's pretty cool. And then like I go, you know what, this isn't good enough. And I go, you know what, I'm feeling like, even though it's sunny today, I want it to be a rainy day. I think that's pretty neat. We have a bunch of circular vents in this little area, and then we do have our analog controls for the radio just down below. And then down below that, we've got our analog controls for the climate system. This does come with a dual zone climate system, which is another nice little luxury feature. And then down here, we can see that we've got a couple of USBs and a 12 volts, and we do have a wireless phone charger in that little area on top of that. And then if you don't want to see this, then all you have to do is just press that and then it'll cover it all up. Now this is kind of like the center console area, so we do have the shifter, pretty simple and straightforward to use. You push the button in and you push the shifter up for reverse, and then you push the button in, push it in for drive, and then if you want neutral, don't push the button, and then just push a little bit forward, because notice it'll go into drive, but it won't go into reverse unless you have the button pressed in, and then push P for park. Couple cup holders. You got your parking brake here with your auto hold, your stability control, the drive modes, which I'll show those to you in just a moment. And then yes, this does come with heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel. And then you've got your parking sensors, and then this to have all the cameras pop on, and then your auto stop start. But I just love how these buttons feel. Like, it's just like such a nice little feeling, like the actuation on it, and the materials on the buttons. Like, all of these buttons are just really nice. But let's get into the drive modes. So we're back to the gauge cluster for the drive modes. Now we've got quite a few drive modes. You've got the Eco, the Smart, and the Comfort, kind of like on that side, right? You just depending on how much fuel economy you want to have and if you want like a comfortable ride. But the cool modes are over here. So you've got your custom, where you can actually customize the mode itself. But my favorite, Sport, because once you pop into sport mode, the seat bolsters actually tighten around you, which is a nice little feature to hold you in place because they expect you to be going around some corners there in sport mode. And then it makes the screen all red and aggressive, but it's all for the drive modes. We've got the center console here, which, lifting up the lid, you can see storage space is pretty solid inside of that. And then notice you got soft touch all over here on the dash. You got stitching there at the very top, and then opening up the glove box. Well, we got the owner's manuals and all that kind of stuff, but a bunch of stuff happening there. But pretty normal glove box. Look at the nice metallic trim that goes along. Just look at kind of like the design, the attention to detail in general in this interior is just really nice. Now up top here, we do get a sunroof. It is automated, but it's just like about the size. It's a little bit bigger than like a regular sunroof, but nonetheless still automatic, which is another nice little luxury feature. Sunglass holder, and then full black headliner, and that's all for the top of the GT2. Now that we're done going over the interior on the Stinger GT2, let's quickly get into the pricing on the car. So in terms of pricing, this particular car stickers for about $53,700 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this GT2 out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility here in the Stinger GT2 before we set off. So in terms of the visibility over the hood, it's relatively good. Even though it has a longer sized hood, it's actually pretty easy to see over it, and hopefully you guys can now see the heads up display. And then in terms of visibility through both the mirrors, it's actually pretty decent. You do have blind spot monitoring, which helps out. And then we've got the visibility all throughout the rest of the rear. There is a little bit of a blind spot there, but it's not too bad. They kind of like slope the windows, interesting in the back. But the hatch does have a huge window, so that helps out. And again, blind spot monitoring, people. So that all being said, let's set off. Hey, a quick disclaimer before we actually set off here in this Stinger GT2. Again, I've mentioned this in a bunch of videos, but I'm gonna keep mentioning this for a while until we kind of come to a decision. If you guys prefer this point of view style, how I have the camera set up, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll continue to have the camera set up like this, or I'll go back to the old style. If you guys haven't watched my videos before, the difference with this compared to my old style is in my old style, basically the camera, like the viewpoint would be closer in, whereas this, you get a little bit more of a viewpoint of the cockpit of the car. But let's actually talk about the car that we're driving today now. So with this Stinger GT2, from the initial ride quality perspective, the car's pretty smooth. Definitely feels more like a luxury car. It is a bigger sized sedan. But the thing I am noticing is this is tuned a little bit more towards the sports side. So I'm noticing with the steering's a little bit more direct than other cars that are kind of like this size, but then also it has a weightedness to it that I really like. I definitely like it when cars feel like that. Gosh, the torque. This thing's got some power, guys. It's got a good amount of torque. Now the roads over here in Salt Lake are really beat up. They just have so much traffic over them, a lot of big trucks and everything. And so you guys are gonna notice, like, even though we're going kind of like up and down, bobbing and weaving, all this crazy stuff over train tracks, none of it upsets the car. It does a really good job as a luxury car, just being comfortable and all that. But you guys probably didn't watch this review for that. Now I've popped it over into the sport mode, bolsters tightened around me, and we'll pop it into the manual mode to see how the gear shifts are. That is a loud diesel. Now taking a turn here, we'll get the acceleration and see how that goes. Whoa! Wow, that is quick. That is scary quick, actually. Wow. So this is coming from someone who owns a Supra that has about the same amount of power as this, but this thing puts it down, and it's such a big car. Like it kind of like squats down and it just goes. This thing is impressive. Wow, and the gear shifts are quick. Oh my goodness, this is fast. Man, if you buy this car, make sure you set aside some money for speeding tickets. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's incredible. Wow, I am so impressed with this, actually. And that'll actually get me into summing things up here with this GT2 Stinger. So, you guys know, like I said, from the ride quality perspective, super smooth. From the driving perspective, it's fantastic. It really is a sports sedan. And the steering is so nice. Like, the steering just weights up perfectly with this car. And let's see how the brakes are coming up here. Yeah, the brakes are fantastic too. This does a really good job. I understand why everyone's comparing this to like BMWs and Audis and all that kind of stuff. It has the nice interior quality, but then it also has the sporty driving. And yeah, it's such a complete package. Now if I pop back over into comfort mode, the bolsters will loosen, and yeah, this is such a cool car. Definitely another surprise for me for 2021. I haven't driven one of these in such a long time, and I forgot how good this car actually is. Again, from the exterior perspective, I think it's a really good looking car on the outside. The inside, it's got nice tech, tons of safety tech, just a really nice interior. And then from the driving perspective, the steering feels amazing. The acceleration, it is astonishingly quick. It has wonderful grip with the all-wheel drive system. And so if you're looking for a car that pretty much does everything, that's practical, that you can drive on a daily basis, that's fun to drive, that's sporty, that's fast, then this is where the Stinger pretty much falls in it, because it just does everything really well, and it's at a really good price point. I know that $50,000 sounds like a lot for a Kia, and it sounds like a lot for a sedan, but when you take into account all the stuff that this car does, it's not really that insane. And the reason that I've kind of prolonged the video to this point is so I can get you guys one more acceleration. Gosh, that thing's fast. Okay, that's the GT2. You guys should buy one. It's fun. Now, that is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Kia Stinger GT2. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Jerry Steiner Kia for giving me some time with this GT2. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.